So, on this channel, I often like to talk about books that I enjoy or books that I think are worth recommending to people, that I think maybe aren't talked about enough. But I also like to talk about books that I can't really form a strong opinion on whether I like them or not, because those ones are also ones that stick in my head more, and I find they're often ones that are a little bit more popular. One of those books is Black Hole by Charles Burns. This is a fairly popular graphic novel. I think it's also been translated into quite a few different languages. It was initially published serially from 1995 to 2004, and then published as a full book in 2005. And some people absolutely freaking love this book. And then there's also some people who just like do not vibe with it. So this book is based in the suburbs of Seattle in the 1970s, and it's about an STD that is spreading amongst the teenagers in this suburb. And the way that this STD presents itself is through outward things, outward markings, and that can be different for every single person who gets it. So some people can kind of pass, they can kind of hide that they have it, and other people definitely cannot. Some people have things that change on their face or on their hand where it's a lot harder to hide versus something that would be maybe on your chest or somewhere on your arm or on your back. We're basically following some teens in this situation, and we're seeing some of the like differences in isolation, how some people kind of isolate themselves. Because it covers teenage years, you also kind of see some of the like teenage brain things that people do, like where something that maybe isn't like the end of the world feels like the end of the world. In terms of the art style, I really liked it. I loved the bold black with just a little bit of white. It's very textured, which kind of gives me the ick actually. Like even the trees are very like textured, which is just a me thing, just my brain. I don't love the like textured look of some things, where they look almost like hairy to me. It's more just like something I don't like. But I did quite like the style overall. I did find it sometimes hard to distinguish characters. Sometimes they would have like very similar hairstyles, very similar sizes. You'd be kind of looking at them from the back. I did really love Charles Burns uses the panels for like where you're like dreaming or recalling something would be like squiggly, whereas you would have like bold borders for things that are like actually happening. So I'm just gonna go in now and not worry too much about what I say. So if you are still here, just be warned. So I didn't feel super emotionally connected to the characters. I think in part because like so much of it was like about romantic interest. Like it wasn't really about like their personalities to me, which like it just kind of felt like they were all needy, which totally makes sense. Like you are a teenager, you're at this time where a lot of people are insecure, just in general. And then you have this added thing where you're kind of marked. It makes sense that like things are kind of superficial. People just want to feel loved. Part of that might have just been time, how much limited exposure we got because we were seeing a few different perspectives. Felt like just with getting into the flow too, with that flip-flop, it kind of took me out a little bit. Like I would get kind of in and then I would kind of get taken out a tiny bit. And that's not like specific just to this book. There's a lot of other books that do kind of similar things. And every time it's just like, okay, I've finally gotten a little accustomed to like what I'm in. And then we're just gonna change characters. I think because of the art style, it also, I was like, okay, so what is happening? Is this somebody that I already know? Do I not know them yet? So I liked the idea, and I liked that it follows different characters, that you're getting into the head of a few different people. But what I don't love is that sometimes it felt kind of superficial in terms of how much we got to actually know them. And I wish that it kind of fleshed into certain things a little bit more. I wanted to kind of know a little bit more about like the kids that actually stayed in high school. We're kind of seeing more of the kids who like don't go to school anymore, who don't have that kind of social side of things. But there would still be people that would like be infected in the school. So it would be interesting to kind of see some of that. There's so many things you could explore with this world. There's so many things that you could explore just based on what Charles Burns has kind of opened up in this book. And it feels like a tease to me almost. It almost just feels like a little tiny snippet, but it also is packaged in a book so big that you're expecting a little bit more. I think that's it. I think it's that formatting, length kind of thing where I'm expecting a little bit more depth in it than I got. I was thinking a little bit more about this book and what I was trying to articulate earlier. And I think another aspect of why I was expecting a little bit more depth was the way that the book is kind of framed. So the book initially is framed like horror to me. Like you pick this book up, you look at it, we've got like the back little part here, we've got like older faces looking all creepy, but you end up getting more of like a drama. And it's like high schoolers, right? So it's kind of high school drama stuff. So I think if it leaned more into the horror, I would be okay with the depth that it had. But because it had the horror bits, but it also had a lot more of the drama bits, I think that made me want a little bit more from the drama side, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, okay, fine. If we're gonna have horror and drama, just give it to me very well rounded. But because we had a few different characters that we were following, the depth that we could get to with each of the characters wasn't that much. So it felt like they were more stamps or like just stereotypes to some degree. And I've read different things from like high school age perspectives, and I've had some that I like don't relate to the characters, and that's totally fine. And I still buy into like the characters that they are, and they still feel like real people to me. The characters in this book didn't feel that way as much to me. It felt like they were more stereotypical teenager ideas than they were like people that felt alive in my mind. And this is totally interpretation stuff. Like, this is not to say that for everyone that would be how they feel. And a part of it could just be my own life experience, right? Who I relate to, what things I gravitate to. But I think that kind of summarizes it. It's like, it's close. There's things that I do like about it, and there's also just things that just didn't quite hit right for me. But I do want to revisit this book. Like, I am glad that I have this book because it's such an interesting book. Like, I find the pictures are quite compelling. I find the art style is very interesting, and I'm curious if I do kind of go into it, rereading it, knowing that it's a little bit more of the drama mixed with horror, if I will enjoy it a little bit more. I will probably not try reading it again for a while, just so that I have time for things to kind of escape my mind, but my verdict on this may change. So let me know if you have read this book, what your opinions were, how you felt. Did you feel a little funky as well about things, or did you totally love it? Did you hate it? Whatever. I'm really curious on other people's opinions. And if you like the vibe of this video, feel free to subscribe for more chats about comics without superheroes. Thanks. Take care. Bye.